Good morning, guys. Hector here. Tuesday, episode 28, BJJ Strength Secrets. Got second episode officially of BJJ Strength Secrets. Had some great response and feedback from the first episode last Tuesday. So today I'm going to be talking about some fundamental drills for BJJ and what fundamental drills that you can pair with strength training. So, like I mentioned, BJJ Strength Secrets, we're going to be mostly talking about is strength training for BJJ. We're going to be talking about kettlebells, barbells, body weight training, flexibility and mobility drills that's going to really help your BJJ training, and it's going to help to keep you injury free. It's going to allow you to create longevity for jiu-jitsu, because at the end of the day, that's what we want, right? We want to be able to train for a very long time without sustaining too many injuries. Now, injuries sometimes come with the territory. I'm not saying that what I'm going to be talking about is going to keep you from ever getting injured, but the likelihood of you getting injured will be a lot less, okay? So we have two kinds of injuries in sports and athletics and performance. We have two types of injuries that we come across. We have contact injuries, and then we have non-contact injuries. So a contact injury is like, training jiu-jitsu, playing football, playing hockey. Contact injuries are basically injuries that happen in an uncontrolled environment. So, for instance, football, you got two guys 250 pounds and heavier that run crazy fast, and they're slamming into each other. Something's going to snap, right? Jiu-jitsu, sometimes you roll and you sprain your ankle, or you fall on your hand and things just happen. Those are contact injuries. And then you have non-contact injuries. So strength training, running, exercise outside. So non-contact injuries are basically injuries that happen in a controlled environment. So we want to minimize or eliminate non-contact injuries. So strength training with either kettlebells, barbells, body weight, or doing yoga, whatever it is that you do outside the mat, the goal should be to increase your performance, to give more to you than it takes away, and to not get injured, okay? So, can't prevent contact injuries in jiu-jitsu. Sometimes that just happens. But if we build enough resilience in our body by training the right way outside of the mat, we'll have a faster recovery. So, little backstory about me and my jiu-jitsu journey and strength training is 2009, I tore the medial meniscus of my left knee. And then on 2012, I tore the MCL of my right knee. Both contact injuries, couldn't avoid it, just something that happened. But I used all of the knowledge that I had on flexibility and nutrition and strength training and yoga, and I put it all together, and I basically self-rehabbed myself to where now I'm 100% recovered. I actually had my knees MRI'd, and they were torn, and I was supposed to have surgery if I wanted to continue to do jiu-jitsu at a high level. I opted out for no. I didn't want to have invasive surgery. So I basically, through the right training protocols and through intelligently pairing strength and flexibility and nutrition, I was able to completely heal my knees. I've had them retested, and they're 100% healed. That's my story. I'm not saying that what I'm going to teach you and talk about is going to heal you, okay? But the likelihood of you recovering faster is going to be definitely greater. So, with that said, remember, guys, we want to focus the majority of our training for jiu-jitsu. We want to focus the majority of our training based around strength. We don't need to be worrying about doing too much additional conditioning, because we're going to get that from the mat. We're going to get, doing drills and rolling and doing takedowns. That type of training is going to give you lots of conditioning. And if you feel like you need more conditioning, do more drills, do more takedowns, do more rolling. if you feel like you need to get more conditioning. Don't add it by going out and doing a lot more conditioning outside of the gym. So what we want to focus on is just pure strength. Key strength training drills for BJJ. Number one is the get up. Okay, the Turkish get up is the best exercise to help maintain your flexibility, increase your flexibility and mobility. It's going to challenge your strength, and it's also going to challenge your symmetry. So as BJJ athletes, and even as just people in general, we become dominant on one side, right? Like you'll notice in your BJJ game that you probably play on your right side a lot, and you probably pass to your, like me, I have a habit of always passing to my left because my stronger side is my right. So I get a really good push to my right so I can pass to my left. So I do that a lot, but I also drill going to my right and pushing with my left. So as athletes, we can start to develop these asymmetries, okay? Pushing and pulling and twisting asymmetries. So that can create problems down the road. And then when we start strength training, we now have asymmetries, and that's how we get injured and start to increase our non-contact injuries. So the get up is going to challenge both strength, stability, mobility, even endurance if you program it a certain way. But it's gonna get you symmetrical because you got to do it on both left and right sides. So the get up is number one on your strength training. Okay. Plus it translates perfectly to BJJ. I'll get more into that on how it does in future episodes. Just adding notes here. That way I don't forget. Turkish get up. Next thing we want to focus on is part of our strength training is the deadlift. Barbell deadlift. Start with the kettlebell and then eventually progress to learning how to do it with a barbell. Again, I'll get more into that in future videos, future BJJ Strength Secret videos and episodes. The deadlift is going to literally build a back of steel. It's going to help you to stand up in pretty much anybody's guard. Okay, it's going to help to increase your upper back strength, to keep people from breaking you down, to put you in like triangles, arm bars, etc. Also, it's going to build really strong hips. As we know, BJJ, hips are everything, right? Learning how to master and use our hips to manipulate our training partner and our opponents. So the deadlift is going to build strong hips, and it's going to build a really resilient and strong upper back and lower back as well. So that's going to have a lot of carryover into playing guard, etc. Okay, but just being all over strong. Then from there, you would want to progress to the kettlebell swing. That's going to work, again, it's going to work the same deadlift pattern, but it's also going to work on explosiveness, and it's going to work on strength, and it's going to add a little bit of endurance to your training. But we're going to be focusing on more of the low volume, heavier swings versus high volume with the medium weight swing. We want to focus on a little bit heavier overweight, for instance, like 32 kilo and up, and working on more low volume because you want to work on pure strength and power. That also is going to work upper back, lower back, and it's going to improve your conditioning, and it's going to build like a rock solid grip, guys, I guarantee you. And so we got the deadlift, we got the swing, and the next one would be a press. I've found that, believe it or not, as much flack as it gets, I have found that the barbell bench press has a huge carryover to BJJ, and the strict military and the kettlebell strict military press has a huge carryover to BJJ. Again, when we're training jiu-jitsu, we're doing a lot of pushing and a lot of pulling. It's not always symmetrical, okay? And when we're strength training, a lot of our strength training is going to be symmetrical pressing and pushing. I understand that, if you want more specific, sport-specific training, do more drills. So that's where your guard passing drills are going to come into play. But now you're going to be so much stronger because you built up a strong base of strict pressing that whenever you push, doesn't matter what side you push to, you're going to have a much stronger passing game. Okay? So to get this out of the way, I don't believe in sport-specific training. You do not be doing shrimps with a kettlebell. Do not be doing, guard passing with a kettlebell. You're now bastardizing a great training tool and using it for something else. don't do that. If you want sport-specific training, practice your sport. If you want to get better at guard passing, doing guard passing with a kettlebell or something tied to your back is not going to improve your guard passing. Guard passing is a sport skill, not a strength skill. So you've got strength skill and then you've got sport skill, okay? Strength skill is getting skilled at lifting, getting stronger, okay? Barbell deadlifting, snatching, pressing, etc. Then you got sport skill, working on your sport skills, like your guard passing technique, your guard, submission technique, right? It's the same thing as like in football, doing like agility drills and working on footwork and catching the ball and working on your hand-eye coordination. Those are sport skills, okay? In jiu-jitsu, again, I repeat, do not be doing weighted type jiu-jitsu exercises for the sake of, it's a really great marketing tool that you'll see out like, sport-specific training, and you'll see guys doing just ridiculous stuff with a kettlebell. You don't need to do that, okay? Focus on getting stronger. Leave the tools to get you stronger, the tools to get you stronger, and then focus on your sports skill, okay? So just to repeat, we've got barbell deadlift, okay, as your primary strength exercise. Then we've got the kettlebell swing, which is going to work again on your hinge and building that upper back strength, but also it's going to build some endurance. Turkish get-up is number one. That's going to work on your symmetry, flexibility, mobility, stability. If you have a limitation, it will find it and it will expose it. So the get-up has 7 movements, and then from there it all translates into a much stronger jiu-jitsu game. And then a press exercise. So whether it's a push press, a strict press, even bench press. Bench press is a great carryover because you can do a lot more weight. The more weight that you move, the more weight that you can press and the more weight that you can move, it's going to be a lot easier when you need to push your opponent maybe to work a takedown, or if you need to stand up in his guard and push his hips down. You're going to be crazy stronger than the guy that's the guard that you're playing in, okay? So bench press gets a lot of flack, but over the last 4 or 5 years, bench press is something I've been adding to my routine, and it's had a huge carryover to my jiu-jitsu game and my passing. And then one other body-weighted exercise is the strict tactical pull-up. Strict tactical pull-up, no kipping, pulling, getting your throat all the way to the bar. Okay, no kipping. You want to focus on grinding, just brute grinding strength. Morning, Jack. So we got Turkish get-up, deadlift, swing, a press, and the pull-up. So basically 5. Those are going to be kind of like your 5 fundamentals. And then there's variations of these that we'll add. But this is going to be like your foundation. And then on this foundation, we're going to build and we'll add and move on to things like snatching and doing the clean and jerk and doing many other different types of strength exercises. But this is going to be more or less your foundation. You don't have to do all 5 at the same time. Pick 2 or pick 3, and that's something that you'll focus on. So let's say for a month, you're going to focus on the strict press, military press, and you're going to focus on the pull-up. And then the next month, you're going to focus on the strict press, and then you're going to focus on the deadlift. So we're still working on a push and a pull. So you always want to focus on a push and a pull. So you may switch, month 1 is going to be strict press and the strict pull-up. Month 2 will be strict press and deadlift, push and pull. And then month 3 will be strict press and the swing, push and pull. So you can start to vary those month to month, okay? So the less moving pieces that you have in your strength training, the better. Because again, you want to focus more of your training on jiu-jitsu and not so much on always working out outside the gym, okay? These are all mistakes that I've made. I used to spend 2 and 3, I'm telling you guys, I used to spend 2 and 3 hours in a gym doing bodybuilding type exercises, working on my biceps on one day, my abs and my calves on another day. I was trying to do bodybuilding stuff to get better at jiu-jitsu. Bodybuilding training will not get you better at jiu-jitsu. I'm telling you this right now. You need to focus on getting overall strong, okay? Fast and loose drills. This is what I'm going to close out with. Fast and loose drills. Fast and loose is a technique basically, it looks like you're just shaking your muscles out. So if you've ever seen like a fighter, or you've seen like a swimmer, and they're just kind of like bouncing around and they're just kind of staying loose, right? That's called fast and loose. And those are the drills that we want to do in between our sets, in between our strength training sets, for when we're training for jiu-jitsu. We want to do fast and loose drills. But I'm gonna put together some jiu-jitsu specific fast and loose drills. So let's say you finish doing a set of heavy deadlifts. After a set of heavy deadlifts, for like 3 minutes, okay, you want 3 minutes of active rest. 3 minutes of active rest. So you're gonna do something as simple as like you're gonna work on shrimping, or you're gonna work on you'll have like one of those dummies, and you're gonna just do some really light drills on the dummy. That's gonna help you to stay loose and stay as relaxed as possible. You're not trying to go all out. You're not trying to go all out with these drills. This is just something to keep you moving between your next deadlift set or your next pressing set. So I'm gonna put something specific together for you guys later in other episodes. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Is we want to focus on these 5 fundamental exercises for your strength training: get up, deadlift, swing, strict press, whether it's a bench press or a strict military kettlebell press, and then eventually a strict pull-up. And then we will be working on variations of these 5 exercises, okay? As we become more competent and we become better lifters, we will explore into expanding those 5 exercises. And then fast and loose drills. And we're going to come up with some jiu-jitsu specific fast and loose drills. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. We want to make sure that we have adequate mobility for BJJ, right? Now, being crazy flexible is not required for jiu-jitsu. Someone that's not flexible, doesn't mean that you can't do jiu-jitsu, but we want to make sure that we have like an adequate amount of mobility and flexibility, because this is going to help to prevent injuries whenever we get caught in really compromised situations. So I'm going to post a link below at the end of today's live session. I'm going to post a link below, and I'm going to show you like a sample mobility flow that I go through, and I'm going to show you an example strength training sessions and how I integrate like BJJ drills with like strength training. So I'm going to put a couple of those links below. Also, I mentioned last episode a week ago that I was going to put together some kind of like sample strength training program for BJJ. I'm working on that right now. It's just taking me a little bit of time to get it all put together. It's going to be really nice, guys. I'm going to put a lot of information into 4 weeks, and it's going to basically teach you a couple of fundamental exercises you should be adding to your jiu-jitsu training, and more or less, and the rationale behind it, and just going to kind of explain a little more in detail and teach you how to do it pretty much. So I'm putting that together right now. I'm not quite done with it. It may take me a few more days. Hopefully by next Tuesday for our next episode, I'll have it ready for you guys. But in the meantime, I'm going to post below a link to my website that's got a BJJ flow, and then I'm going to post another link showing you some drills that you can add to your strength training. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, leave something in the comment section below. If you're enjoying these videos, please share this. If you know a fellow BJJ brother that is struggling with getting stronger for BJJ, if you know that brother that's struggling with getting stronger for BJJ, please share this. Please tag him. If you're enjoying the videos, click my notifications on the bottom right side so that you'll be alerted for the next episode of BJJ Strength Secrets. So tomorrow we've got deadlift secrets. I'm going to be covering some really great stuff about barbell deadlifting and even kettlebell deadlifting. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great Tuesday. Bye.